And at a certain point, I started doing public speaking. I definitely didn't go to school for that. No one teaches you that. And then I became an entrepreneur. And definitely no one taught me that. Maybe there's schools now. There wasn't schools 5 years ago for entrepreneurship, right?
This is the EFR
that
podcast.
song blew up from TikTok and the internet, and social media. Right. And look where it is today. It's just a great example.
Especially with the way that young Nigerians on social media who otherwise would not have ever been interested in politics at all are now taking position. They are now opinion molders by themselves on social media, criticizing one another. Why would you support Party A?
Well, I think, again, it comes back to the Congress just wanting to do nothing but monkey fight. They want those tax returns for one reason, and that's the hopes, like the collusion with Russia, the hopes that they can find something that they can get them with, drag them down.
This is the EFR podcast, episode 35, end of the year 2019. Oh, let me get the alarms, the horns, the celebration. Woo! Shit. Yeah, this is Sammy BE, Businessman Bassey. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Mr. James Lyman. And on the boards, we got my man John the Don Sterling. And we are the EFR podcast, man. Economic and Finance Report. You guys already know what it is and what it needs to be. We're closing out 2019, y'all. Going to 2020 when we come back. Let me get the alarms. Soul clap, soul clap, soul clap, soul clap. How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? James, John, what's up, man?
I'm going all right.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. As we close out the end of the year, strong fourth quarter. Trying to do it big as always. And guys, man, what's been going on? You know, what's been going on the economic and financial front, business front? You know, James, I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about Asia and China, right? I got a couple of stuff.
Yeah.
To talk about.
That's the whole future of you all millennials and Generation Z is being formed right now over in China.
Right. The millennials and Generation Z. And then, a new posting on the Economic and Finance Report website. Let me plug that in, economicandfinancereport.com. You know, the financial economic blog site. I posted a new article on the Black Friday sales. You know, that's live on economicfinancereport.com. Definitely check that out. The sales, the estimates already came in. Black Friday surpassed last year, the last couple of years, $20 billion in revenue. $20 billion in revenue on Black Friday and Black Friday weekend. Can you imagine? And then not only that, over $7 billion in online sales. Smash. You guys need to really read that article I posted up. You know, those statistics coming from Forbes magazine, Forbes.com. Over $7 billion on online sales. What do you guys think? No more brick and mortar? No more shops, huh? Online only, right? Shit is crazy.
Yeah. More and more is going that way.
The way of the future.
Exactly.
$20 billion in revenue, man. John, and the Canadians was in on it too. They said other countries were in on it. You know, America's the leaders in the world, bro. We don't care if you guys won an NBA championship. You heard? John, people around here from T-Dot. Huh? Oh man, T.O, you Drake fan. That's your best friend. Drake, that's your best friend that never calls you. You know what I mean? All right. So a lot of stuff has been happening on the news front, but let's get to our guest. I have the pleasure to introduce this phenomenal guy here. He has this episode is going to really kind of reflect on public relations, publicity. We talk a lot about media. We talk a lot about the business aspect, the financial aspect of the media business. music business, entertainment business, we talk about just as long as it's a business related issues. And this young guy that we have here has his own PR, publicity, I guess marketing, promotional medium, his own company, and he's worked with companies like BET. He's worked with companies like or record labels and artists like T.I., Grand Hustle. This guy is like a walking PR firm. Let's just put it like that. And the guy that I'm talking about is Mr. J. Torres, John Torres. Can I get a one time? His firm, One PR. You can state it. You know the name, because I always say One PR because I always see him on social media as Torres One PR. But his promotional firm, PR firm that he has done a lot of work with artists, especially in the television and entertainment world. And can I get a one time soul clap for my man Jonathan Torres, please?
Salute. What's going on, y'all?
Salute, Captain.
Appreciate
How you doing, John? Thank you for coming on the EFR podcast. End of the year episode, so you should be very lucky, man. We closing out fourth quarter strong. You're a sports guy. I see your posts, man. On your social media and your business acumen, man. Can I get a one time for Jonathan Torres? One time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Actually, it's very empowering because this is episode 35, and actually this is my last month being the age of 35. I'll be 36 on December 15th. You know what I'm saying?
So clap for my man John. Yo, so happy SAG gang, Sagittarius. My sister's a Sag. My birthday is Scorpio, but your Sags is Jay-Z the Sag. So you guys are leaders, man. You guys are natural born leaders. So that's a great thing. Great thing. Sag gang, Sag season, but everybody knows Scorpios are the best. So let's not fool ourselves.
You got it, big bro. You got it.
So John, man, thank you for coming on. Let's talk about your business. As you know, this is a business. Economic and finance podcast show where we speak about business as it relates to young millennials, as well as Generation Z, as well as baby boomers, as well as Generation X. Mm-hmm. And, it's more of a business show because, a lot of people, they do the gossip, they do the entertainment, they do the media, which is all good and dandy, but we tie that in, really kind of focus more of a business aspect of things. And, we want to know how you run your business. You want to maybe speak about your business, your company, what you do, and how it relates into the media world and the younger generation following you.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all taking the time out, allowing me to be the last interview of the year, closing out 2019 very strong. So I'm very appreciative and gracious to you guys for taking your time out. Thank you very much. In regards to me, like you said, I go by the name of Jonathan Torres, aka Torres One PR, or One PR for short. One PR is actually a short for public relations. So One PR was established in November of 2012. So I've been incorporated for approximately 8 years. And initially, the vision for the company was to be the premier public relations, marketing, and branding firm in the entertainment business. It kind of segued into that because initially it started off with the company by the name of Crystal Glacier Water. Right. So in 2012, I was actually a brand advocate for a company from Alaska. It was a long story how I got there, but just to briefly summarize, I wound up getting in contact with the owner of a company based out of Alaska called Crystal Glacier Water. And long story short, I wound up talking to him, negotiating him, taking money out of my 401k that actually I'd had saved up from being a manager for AT&T. I took a leap of faith and I wound up buying a wholesale amount of these bottles called Crystal Glacier Water, which was some they were kosher glacier water from Alaska that they lit up on the bottom with blue and pink lights on the bottom of the bottle. A lot of people thought they were actually liquor bottles, but in actuality, they were high alkaline Glacier water from Alaska. So I wound up getting that particular brand into a whole bunch of different clubs. I got them into videos for product placement. I wound up getting them next to a lot of rappers and a lot of models. So after I got all that, people started recognizing me and knowing me as the water man, or the guy with the bottles of water that light up. So what I did was, I'm like, you know what? Let me start off my own incorporated business. And what I'll do is I'll make it seem as if this particular company hired me to be their representative or to be their public relations and marketing strategist in regards to this brand. So
wait. Let's break it down. James, do you hear this guy right now, man? This guy was smart enough to incorporate a business. All right, I heard a lot of things, man. We gotta slow this down. I heard a lot of things. I heard AT&T, mega billion-dollar company. I heard you partnering up with water, probably competitors of vitamin water, right? Mm-hmm. Are they on the same type of plateau like vitamin water? Is that what I'm hearing, or they're not up there?
The bottle itself was actually alkaline based water. So like rest in peace, Dr. Sebi. A lot of people now are a little more knowledgeable when it comes to like acidic and basic, like the pH balance, or anything less than 7 is neutral, anything less is acidic, anything more than 7, to 14, 1 to 14 is 7 to 14 is basic or alkaline. So this is 2015, before there was the craze. I introduced this bottle of water, which is called Crystal Glacier water. So it was actually water that actually came from a glacier in Alaska and came down, and it was very high. It was 9.0 in alkaline, and it was natural. So it wasn't infused like some other companies. It was actually naturally 9.0 alkaline-based water from Alaska. And the little, I guess the niche, what the fact of the matter is that the bottle itself had lights on the bottom, which would light up either blue or pink. So they would be very brilliant and pretty much illuminate any room, club, venue, restaurant it was in.
Wow. So you were able, so you're business savvy. You were able to work with. How did you hear about Crystal Glacier water exactly? How did that come about? How did that business relationship?
So to incorporate the music industry, I went with the artist that I was currently working with at the time, and I went to a club somewhere in New Jersey. I forgot the name of the club specifically, but it was in New Jersey, and there wound up being a couple of artists that were performing. And then when I get to the club, I see these bottles of that are lighting up all over the place. I'm like, hey, bro, what kind of liquor is that? They were like, no, it's not liquor. It's actually water. I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. So that particular night I happened to be a little, slightly inebriated, to say the least. And I wound up actually being a little tipsy and taking the bottle home with me, right? So, all the way, took the bottle home as like a little novelty, as like a little, memory of the night per se. So I go home, I go to sleep, I'm a little tipsy, and I wake up in the middle of the night, thirsty, trying to get some water, but this bottle is still lit up in the corner of my room. And I'm like, wow, this thing is pretty cool. So I wound up seeing that there was a phone number and an email and a website on the bottle. I wound up the next day calling the person on the bottle, which happened to be the owner of the company. He gave me a little bit of information about the company and told me the only way to deal with him is actually having to invest in some pallets. So I had to purchase some wholesale pallets from a distributor in New Jersey by way of Alaska. So the next day I wound up going on Fidelity Investments, with my 401k was with AT&T. I took out about $6,000. I took a leap of faith, sent it over to Alaska to a complete stranger. Wound up giving me some information to actually get the bottles from a distributor in New Jersey. And that was that. And I wound up being, a wholesaler and also a marketer for the brand of Crystal Glacier water.
Wow. So when you became a distributor, right? Are those I'm assuming those dividends are still paying off now, or how difficult was it to? I guess it's a two-part question. How difficult was it for you to actually move those bottles? Because people are not really. It's not a vitamin water. It's not something from Aquafina or something like that. How difficult was it? And then what was your strategy to try to make it? Make it a known entity. What were you trying to do?
Absolutely. So again, two-part question, two-part answer. So the first part of it wasn't really difficult because once I seen the product and I seen the potential that the product had, just because it's a novelty, because of the light on the bottle, I knew it was a hit. So I was the only person in the States outside of a particular company in Las Vegas or California at that time that had access to this water because nobody was willing to potentially purchase this brand at wholesale numbers. Again, you could have went online and bought like a box for like $175 plus shipping and handling. So it would have been approximately $200 a bottle. $200 for the box at $12. $12 in a dozen. So approximately it was somewhere around the range of $17, $18 a bottle. And to me, it was like, I don't feel like paying $18 a bottle wholesale for water. So when I negotiated the deal buying the pallets, I ended up having the opportunity to get each box for about $36 a box from $175. Mm-hmm. So it was a significant decrease in buying wholesale because I bought 310 boxes or 3 pallets, right? So the beautiful thing, my objective was to, number one, get as many eyeballs, as much visibility on this product as much as I can to then make it easier for me to wholesale it. So what I would do is I would go to a lot of the gentlemen's clubs in the city, a lot of strip clubs in New York. I went to a lot of high-end restaurants, and then anytime there was an event, I would go out there, bring the bottles there, any music videos. Actually, I did product placement on a video from this group called The Locks, Styles P, Jadakiss, and Chic Luch. Of course. And prior to actually presenting these bottles to the video, this is their first video that they had in 10 years collectively together. So the first video they came back, I was able to do product placement and actually had the bottles in the video. And that video wound up later on getting over 150 million views on WorldStar and a whole bunch of other various blogs in the hip hop industry. So that gave me a lot of visibility in the hip hop sphere per se, you know? And I'm sorry to cut you off. A lot of people have products and they don't have, I mean, with that background connections that you had to get them in the video, did you know the director or producers or something? Yeah, a lot of people have products, but they don't get product placement, you know? Yes, correct. So at that point in time, I was actually blessed with the opportunity to work with a company at that time called Street Heat. So Street Heat was the official videographers for WorldStar prior to them becoming who they are today. So I was, again, blessed with the opportunity to do that. And I was also doing a lot of other work with them as well. Like I was doing modeling, casting. So they would delegate the opportunity for me to get models. And if they look up to par and they look good and they fit the aesthetic, then I would invite them out, to these video shoots. So at the same time, I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And then, try to get some maximum visibility on this product by way of product placement in music videos. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So that was my first official product line under the 1PR brand, number 1 public relations. Another reason why I called it 1PR as well is because of my ethnic background. I'm 100% Puerto Rican. So that being said, I also wanted to put a little bit of my culture in there. So PR stands for public relations, but the other play on words is actually Puerto Rican, which is my background. Nice. James, do you have any questions for John?
Been a while since I can talk to anybody successful in promotions and such. And a lot of people listening, are wanting to start their own business or have started their own small business. And one of the questions is how to promote what they're doing. For a service like you, what kind of monies are they looking at? What would it take for you or somebody similar to you to come in and start promoting their business, at least to a minimal level? Mm-hmm. Well, what James is saying is that we're probably going to be utilizing your services in 2020, and this coming back in 2020, we would like to utilize your services. I'm sure other people would like to utilize your services as well. Sure, definitely. So the initial startup cost to do the company was actually very cost effective. I paid a little more than I'm supposed to. I went to a tax expert by the name of Mike, located in Queens, New York, and he's been doing my parents' taxes for over 20 years. So I went to him. I told him what the vision was, what I wanted to do. So I paid him approximately $750 to do this back in 2012, which nowadays, if I was a little bit more intelligent in that business realm back then, I would definitely utilize companies like LegalZoom.
So LegalZoom is very cost effective if you're trying to do an LLC, limited liability corporation, or an S corp or a C corp. I definitely would empower or tell anybody looking to get into business, first and foremost, know the kind of business you want to get into. Find out the niche, do a needs assessment, exactly what you need to do. But first and foremost, before anything, make sure your paperwork is down packed. What I mean by that is go to LegalZoom. They actually offer free consultations, and you can find out if you want to start an LLC, a limited liability corporation, if you want to start an S corp and C corp. Some of them there are some similarities and some differences into the business aspect of it in terms of like tax liability or personal liability, things of that nature. So it's very important that you educate yourself on business, and then take some time out to go on Google and find out differences between an LLC, S corp, and a C corp. And on top of that, again, go to LegalZoom.com. They offer a free consultation, a phone call, or just educate yourself on Google and YouTube and see what best fits your market of business. Once you get all of that down pat, you'll get your tax ID, aka your EIN number, right? So now you're registered with the state and with the federal government that you have a legitimate business. Once you do that, my next step would then go ahead and be able to open up a business checking account as well as a business credit card. Because moving forward, a lot of the things that you do could potentially be tax write-offs. So, I was learning that anything from a cell phone bill to gasoline for transportation, anything like computer, Wi-Fi, internet, there's a culmination of different things that you could utilize as a tax write-off. A lot of people think that by it being a tax write-off, it means that you don't have to pay that. It's actually false. In actuality, what a tax write-off is, for example, let's just say you have a regular job and you get paid $40K a year. And let's just say your business itself is generating, let's just say, for example, $15K a year, right? And out of those $15K, let's say $10K are expenses, just for raw, simple numbers. So as opposed to being taxed on $40,000 that you made on the books, say for a W-2 job, they would take that $10K of your taxable income and deduct that from your $40,000 that you have on the books. So as opposed to you getting taxed on $40K, you get taxed on $30K. So that's how you actually save money. So you don't actually not pay taxes. You just pay less of it. Less money you pay out, less money you keep in your pocket.
No. And I'm glad that you was able to give that insight. But I think what James is asking about your service of what you do, like, people wanting to utilize and connect with you on the services that you provide. Sure. On the public relations and publicity. Someone who's coming up might not have a big budget. Mm-hmm. I know you work with Grand Hustle and BET, but they don't have those astronomical budgets. Of course. Somebody who wanted to utilize yourself, like EFR podcast, just hypothetically put that out there. Yes. Wanted to use your service. How can someone on the come up or trying to come up in the game, or in business, utilize your PR, publicity, and your whole media package that you have?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, when I have a potential client that may be of interest that does want to work together, the first thing I do is I'll get their social media, Instagram and Facebook, and I'll do a social media audit. And what I'll do is I'll see any particular areas of opportunity or any gaps that they might be missing that could be of assistance, because my quickest way to be able to be of assistance will be on the social media marketing aspect of it. So anything from utilizing, proper hashtags, knowing what time to post, utilizing Instagram accordingly, to knowing how the algorithms work, Facebook, things of that nature. Also utilizing influencer marketing, being able to use, let's say, shout out for shout out with other small businesses in your niche. So I will do all of these things first and also do a consultation. In terms of budget, I literally work with any budget. Like I got people that come to me with $100 and say, Torres, all I got is $100. What can you do for me? I will do the best that I can with the $100. But I got clients that come to me and say, listen, I have an artist. He's signed to a label. He wants to pay you $3,500 a month, or he wants to pay you $10,000 for a 3-month retainer. I'll do that too. So what I'll do is I'll put together different packages of all the services that I offer. Anything from social media marketing, search engine optimization, radio placement for artists and campaigns, Spotify playlist, blog playlist, videography, cinematography, you name it. You know what I'm saying? People need QR codes to put on flyers, business cards. If they need merchandise and apparel, I literally have something for everybody, right? So that being said, being that I throw so much business to so much of these different service providers, they hook me up and they give me amazing prices. So, I pay it forward. So, for example, if somebody wants something, like I make a minimal amount. My attitude is I want to be able to help out more people, because the more that I do, that they can potentially tell other people how good of a job I did, and then therefore I can get more clients. So there is no ceiling or there is no minimum amount that I'll work for, as long as the potential client is wanting the needs and services that I offer and it matches the aesthetic of what they're trying to do. I'll pretty much work with anybody. Nice. Mm-hmm. That's spoken to a real businessman right there. And, the hustle. My mentality, less is more, because it would be a lot easier for me to get 10 clients, paying me $250 a month, rather than 3 clients paying me $1,500 each. It's just, you have to understand what the demographic is, and specifically, and as it pertains to the music business, a lot of these artists are self-employed. They do have their own businesses. You know what I mean? Some of them may have legitimate or illegitimate business or different methods of income. So therefore, I have to be knowledgeable and know my demographic. So I work with a lot of unsigned artists that don't happen to have that BET, Viacom, or MTV budget. So that being said, I work within a construct and do the best that I can, given the limited resources. Right. Mm-hmm. Spoken like a true businessman. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you have, like, as far as, business wise, what aspects are you trying to do for the 2020 as we go into 2020? What do you have on your horizon? What's on your plate? What's your objectives? There's so many beautiful things, man. So without being too long-winded, I could briefly summarize what I got going on in the immediate future, starting as early as like last week. So one of my clients is actually a radio DJ. He goes by the name of the infamous Amadeus. He's actually on Shade 4-5 every day from Monday through Friday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. He's actually one of my biggest clients and also one of my best friends. He is the CEO of a company called Get Adam Media Group. And under the umbrella of Get Adam Media Group is encompassed several different businesses. So you have Get Adam Magazine, Get Adam Films, Live 89 FM, Boom Bap Nation, as well as Get Adam Records. So again, without getting too long-winded, I'll give you a brief summary. So Get Adam Records is a record company and a label that pushes and distributes music, artists, specifically rap, hip-hop, and boom bap. Live 89 is a 24/7, 365 mobile application that is phone-based and also based on tablets. And it's 24/7, 365, and you have the ability to listen to music worldwide as long as you have a website, or as long as you have a desktop. Anywhere in the world where you have a internet connection, you can check Live 89 FM. It launches January 1st, 2020. Then we have Get Adam Films. Get Adam Films is a film and videography company, which an extensive resume of over 150 videos, and collectively through Google Analytics of over 250 million views all over the world when it comes to videography of a lot of hip hop artists. Then we have Boom Bap Nation, which is a hip hop blog with over 2.1 million followers across 2 platforms, including Facebook and Instagram. And they pretty much are the go-to company when it comes to hip hop blogs and media content in the in the hip hop industry. And I actually just got an opportunity to be a digital media consultant, so I'll be doing live interviews with some of your favorite hip hop entity CEOs, as well as up and coming and new artists as well. Outside of that, also all my ventures with 1PR as a publicist and public relations. I also have a showcase that I host every other Tuesday in New York called the New Artist Spotlight Concert Series, and we showcase some of hip hop's and New York and the tri-state area's best talent. And then we take them and give them the opportunity to get on radio. And last but not least, I also am an executive manager for a company called Adventures Music. Adventures Music is owned by Chris Gotti. Chris Gotti is the brother of Irv Gotti, who is a gentleman that actually started Murder Inc. with the Sean T, Ja Rule, and everything like that. Adventures Music is a digital distribution platform that gets artists, independent artists, educates them, and also puts them on streaming platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and everything else. So I'll be working closely with him. Again, there's so much more, man. Being that we're kind of limited on time, I can go on forever, but those 5 things under the umbrella of Get Out of Media as well as Adventures and 1PR itself is going to keep me very busy from now to the next couple of months at the very least.
Wow, man. Kudos, salute. And salutations on everything that you're doing. You're definitely someone who's got 2020 forget on the horizon. You got to pass the moon, man. I mean, you're really just doing, just business wise, the stuff that you got going on is very prolific and very it's energizing to hear. And hopefully, our younger audience and our audience in general definitely can get inspired by what you have going on. Just starting out. When you start out with the water, right?
We're talking about November 2012, and prior to that, right. that's just me being incorporated on the books. Prior to that, I've been going hard since my Penn State days as a college student in 2001. So I'm talking about 19, 20 years that I've been grinding since the age of 18, now going to be 36. It's a joke that a lot of people say, like, it took me 20 years to be overnight success. So if I can give any advice to any millennial or up and coming entrepreneur, is that you have to be resilient and you have to be consistent and persistent. You know what I mean? You have to keep going. You know what I mean? It's going to be times that you're going to want to quit. It's going to be times that you might not have the funds or the resources to continue to do what you got to do. But where there's a will, there's a way. And sometimes you might have to do unconventional methods of business in order for you to do that. Like you know what I'm saying? Maybe some non-taxable business ventures. Maybe work a job that you may not like, but for the time being, it's a means to an end. So you got to stay relentless in this industry or whatever industry that you want to do. And also educate yourself, read a lot of books. I try to keep myself, mentally sharp as much as I can by reading books, or even if you download some audio books, whatever the case may be, but stay sharp. There's an abundance of information on YouTube and Google. So there's no reason why you can't educate yourself and learn a new craft, or educate yourself and master the current craft you're in now.
Wow. Spoken from the word from the wise, a real champion, a business leader. Let's get a one time for my man Jonathan Torres. Torres 1PR firm. Can I get a one time, man? Yo, Jonathan, man, thank you for coming on and blessing us with the insight of the publicity, public relations business. You're pretty much like a walking media entity, man. You got like damn near 100 different jobs. Can I get a job, man?
That's the goal. Listen,
it's like a partnership, man.
It seems like you guys, you know what I'm saying? EFR doing a great job, and I thank you guys for taking time out of your day and educating other people on economics and finance and reporting that to people like myself and other like-minded entrepreneurs or people of all ages. But yeah, man, my goal is to be a multimedia mogul, and by doing that, it's gonna make me my first million by the age of 40. So I got 4 years left to make that first M. If I could do it before, I'll be great. But my realistic goal is to be a millionaire by the age of 40, and have at least 7 streams of revenue, because most successful people do. I want to be a philanthropist. I want to help out people. I want to help out the world. I want to be an angel investor like people at Shark Tank. I want to be able to own several companies and own stake in it. I want to eventually open up some e-commerce businesses. Eventually invest in real estate in some capacity, and then continue to grow my public relations and marketing firm and other affiliate businesses. You know what I'm saying? So I have 2020 vision, like the new year. I'm locked in, and I'm just looking forward to and also keep God first, man. To everybody that that may or may not be spiritual or religious or whatever case may be. Listen, real quick, man. I'm 35 years old. January 13, 2016, I had my 3rd heart surgery, and I was implanted with a pacemaker, man. So I could have easily been RIP on a T-shirt, man. So every day that I'm up and I'm blessed to see another day is by God's grace. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of any business related, I always put God first, man. Because without Him, I'm not here. We have nothing. Facts.
One time for my man Jonathan Torres, 2020 visionary. Against all odds, beat all odds. Can I get a one time, man? John, thank you again. I know you're a man on the move. You got things you have to do. Thank you for coming on the EFR podcast. Jonathan Torres, you want You want to scream out your social media real quick? You can scream it out.
Absolutely, man. So it's very simple on all platforms. Torres 1PR. That's TORRES, the number 1 PR, like public relations, all Puerto Rican. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/Torres1PR, Snapchat. My website will be dropping soon, www.1prmusic.com. Find me on any platforms. Listen, I'm open book. I'm very transparent. If you guys want to hit me up on a DM, Instagram is the best way to contact me, or my email address at torres1pr@gmail.com. Once again, guys, I appreciate everybody at EFR. I appreciate you guys taking the time out and giving me a platform to utilize. I look forward to working with you gentlemen moving forward for 2020 and for the time to come. However I could be of assistance in any capacity, please feel free. And again, I'm grateful and appreciative of you guys, what you guys doing out there. Thank you so much.
One time for my man Jonathan Torres. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all, man. Salute and God bless.
Salute.
Peace.
All right. EFR Podcast, episode 35. My man Jonathan Torres, 1PR. Torres 1PR firm, public relations, publicity, marketing, media, strong media, man. What did you think about that, James?
It was really good, enjoyable listening to him. He had some good advice, I think, for a lot of people out there. Yeah, I mean, he definitely is someone who's doing things in the media spectrum. And let's go into. We're closing out the year. So we have some, some throwback episodes, monikers that I have John throw at the audience of what we've done. We had a real long year, man. It was pretty good, man. 35. We had episode 35. Yeah.
We didn't do 35 episodes in 1 year, but we're the BI at 35. We've been doing this for a long time, man. This is a great thing, So, big accomplishments. What's going on? I mean, in the economic and financial front, man. I know you had some stuff you wanted to speak about. What's going on in Asia? I guess we're still in talks, right? Trump is still in talks with China with the trade, and it looks like it keeps going up and down. Something new is always coming in. What did you want to speak on that?
Well, I've just been seeing reports here and there and bits and pieces here and there that the economy, China's economy, is not doing too well. I just found an article there. I think I may have sent it to you from Bloomberg from Friday, that a lot of the banks in China are in real bad condition. They're carrying a lot of debt. They don't have much in the way of assets. Plus, their consumer debt is way up. A lot of the Chinese have been buying stuff hands over fist, apparently, on credit. And it's kind of has the making for an economic collapse. And that, of course, brings out the possibility of dragging other economies down, in particular ours, because our economy has been so tightly coupled with the Chinese. So, and I think this is going to...
I've been hearing that as far as like the trade war, the economy of China hasn't been doing as well. Like we kind of went up. But I mean, they're saying that there's a resolution over a horizon, maybe a midterm, a medium. I shouldn't say midterm, a medium type of resolution where it's not really high end. It's not really full, but it's like a medium or middle range type of agreement that they're supposedly supposed to reach. But then I'm hearing that it's faltering and then it's coming back again, and it's just a lot of mixed messages that seems to be happening on the trade front between United States and China.
Yeah, and China's very worried about the oil because the predictions are the oil is going to be getting short in 2030, 2040, maybe even by 2050. There may be only 1/5 the available oil that there is today. and that's going to be really devastating for all economies. But China has no oil at all to fall back with. So she is right now busy trying to position herself to be able to make sure she gets oil. And right now she's building up this tremendous blue water navy, which is very expensive. And of course is very active in Africa and Middle East, setting out outposts there and establishing military base. She's even doing stuff down in the Bahamas. So the Chinese have stated that by 2040 or 2050 in that region, they intend to be the dominant power of the world. In other words, be able to say that we get the oil and what's left over, everybody else, America, Canada, Mexico, gets what's left over. So this has the potential for some very serious troubles in the future. And that's why I say that China right now is setting the future for the young people in America, because if her miscalculations or her attempts to become a dominant power results in a misstep, and we have a lot of strife and even open war, then that's going to pull down our economy, and that's going to leave them with little to nothing.
So what are your predictions? Well, let's get predictions for 2020. United States, China, some type of agreement on the table, or even if it's a small range agreement, middle range, what's your predictions? Any type of agreement you foresee 2020?
Yeah, I think they'll come to some kind of agreement, because China's economy is too fragile to be screwing around, if you will. You know, she's losing manufacturing, and factories are closing. Her banks are unstable. So she's in a precarious position, and this isn't the time to be throwing rocks when you're living in a glass house. So I think she'll make a real effort to go ahead and resolve some of these issues and come up with an agreement. Now, whether she'll stick to it, that's another question, you know, because we've had agreements about proprietary information and patents and things like that, and she's had a way of just ignoring it and just going on what she wanted to do, and this is what has stirred up a lot of the trouble.
Well, so, I think the administration, the Trump administration, I think administrations even after are going to start imposing some type of, I don't know, imposing some type of clauses. If you don't adhere to rules and regulations, you'll get hit with tariffs or some type of penalties. You know, yeah. I definitely think that this administration is serious about that. As you've seen in certain other cases, trade agreements that they've had, even with the USTMA agreement, you know, and you know, Congress still hasn't even signed it yet. So, but you know, on the business front, you see that the economy is doing well in the United States. You know, jobs are definitely hiring. And, you know, those are all positive signs in the right direction. We just have to see exactly what this trade, so-called quote-unquote trade war, or if any type of agreement between the two superpowers, United States and China, will come to fruition in 2020. And if I had to put my bets on, you know, I would say yes. I just would put an asterisk, though, you know, because we don't know how serious the agreements or the trade, the partaking of trade agreements between the two nations would be. You know, how serious, like you said, they would be kept. So we just have to kind of monitor that situation with an asterisk. Yeah, man, and that's about it. You know, anything else you wanted to add?
Did you by chance watch Frontline the 5th of November about artificial intelligence? It's a 2-hour special.
No, I did not. Did you send me something about that? I gotta check my email. Did you send? I did not watch anything on artificial intelligence. Do you have information, a web link or something I can?
Well, I was going to do an article about it, but it was really an eye opener. You know, this is going to be the other thing in the near future. Not just because they're taking jobs, but just other things that are happening economically because of the onrush of AI. And this again, they talk about China. Pardon?
I think for the 2020 that should be, and if you can make a mental note or some type of note, maybe we should come back on 2020 talking about artificial intelligence and how serious it is. A lot of people are kind of putting it to the back burner, but you are seeing more technological developments occurring, and that would be a great episode to probably be partake in 2020. So keep a mental note of that. I don't know how you want to register it. John, you too, keep a mental note of that.
I'll go ahead and do an article about it. I'll go ahead and do an article about it, and then we have something a foundation to talk. Well, yeah,
if you do an article about it, we don't come back until January, so we have a long break. So if you're doing an article now, we'll probably have different articles, more articles on the economic and finance report.com site. So I would rather you do the article, but also keep a note so when we come back, it can be a part of a discussion or even the main discussion as we come back. Either one of the first couple of episodes for the new year. So just keep a mental note on that. And guys, we're coming back from a great Black Friday, Thanksgiving, man. We're in December now. Beginning of December, we're going to wrap it up. 2019 was a great year, man. It was pretty good. And as we go into 2020, more episodes, more finance, more economics, more business. This is the EFR podcast, episode 35, year end of review. The last show for the year, ending 2019. Can I get a soul clap one time? Woohoo! We did it! Yeah! We out of here, man. I am Sammy BE, Bizman Basti, along with co-host James Lyman, and on the boards, John the Don Sterling. We are the EFR Podcast. Happy 2020 when we come back. Stay blessed and God bless.